Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the charts, man. All right, so we are outside of the POI. I'll talk about what that means in this video. Guys, before we get started, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at three indicators before I talk about the POI here. We're going to be taking a look at levels, spots, and volt. These are all indicators that I made here. They're offered on the Discord, and these are very crucial when it comes to POIs in the market and cycles. Okay, so we'll go over each one and talk about where AMC is at and how we can really trace down and understand where we are in the cycle. Right, the previous video talks about the phases in the market using the Wyckoff theory as well as the cycle theory. And we have a pretty good idea of where we are, but remember, we still need to see that the next POI, regardless of whether it does end up hitting soon or going into November, which would be the next timeline that I have set up here for the next POI. Now, we're going to start with levels, okay? All right, so a little bit about levels. What we're looking for here is oversold and overbought areas. These lines that you're seeing here, there's 4 levels. We're using the whole average. And this is just really good at smoothing out the average here for any stock. Now, I do use this on the larger time frames, and it gives you a good idea using the cycle where we are. Okay, so for example, right, AMC is trading on this lower band here, which is considered to be an area that's oversold. Now, we don't consider it extremely oversold unless it does cross below, right? Now, AMC has only crossed below this area twice and been stuck there for a little bit, right? We don't consider these where you start triggering the lower band, right? Those are not considered extremely oversold points. We do need to see it stay there for a few weeks. Now, I am on the weekly time frame, so I am using for all the indicators here so you guys can see how this works. The larger the time frame, the better it is, right? Pretty much for any indicator. Okay. So, oversold, highlighted here in red. All right. We have another oversold area in 2020. The entire market dumps. Now, here it trades sideways for about a year. AMC is trading pretty sideways. Now, the difference between the charts now and then, there's a few things, right? We did have the reverse split and the conversion back with Ape. And also, we didn't have all this, right? This massive pump followed by distribution. AMC was already descending before that, right? So this was the breather. Now, with this indicator here, trading in this lower band, we can still compare it to this area in time. If we take the cycle, okay, this is the missed POI basically, right? Because you come back, you line it up from POI to POI, man. All right, 336 days. Okay, and you can see right around this range here, July 22nd, that POI was inverse. Or not inverse, I'm sorry, that it was neutral. So there was nothing happening there. And then this next POI here, we don't see anything either, right? So it's just trading sideways. We only have one POI in this sequence that has played out. And that POI has been the one in May. And that's the first data point we have to this bigger picture. And the drop here, also considered a major inverse POI, is also relevant to the sequence. So we need to get that third POI to understand the flow here, to understand how things are moving on a cyclical level. Okay? Now, this indicator is great, again, at spotting those ranges. We also have to pair it up with some of these other indicators, right? So we use Volt to identify the volatility zone. So this uses a threshold. So you guys know I use anywhere between 50 to 70 to consider POIs, right? Because we need that volatility threshold to be considered here. Because anything that's happening, any short move that gets shut down quickly is not considered a volatility zone. For example, what happened in July of last year, right, where AMC goes up 100% and then gets shut down immediately the next day. That happens in the after-hour session. You can see right here, this indicator is not even picking that up. It's only picking up the indicators that we track in the cycle, right? Which January, we have May. Going into June, we have the March and then August POI. These are very important POIs, bullish POIs. And it also tracks the inverse POI. So it hit that threshold. This is using the VWAP. And it tracked that inverse POI, which was 1,000% basically pushed to the downside. And then obviously tracking the most recent POI here. So you can see there's about 7, all right? And we're starting right after COVID, so post-COVID. So this is very important to track as well. Going back to it, again, if this is a period of accumulation here for AMC, then it definitely looks very similar to January, right, of 2021. It's just that the cycle here, if it's going to take another breather, that's fine. We're getting a different sequence of events. And this is where we start tracking, other sectors in the market, understanding how those are moving, how those are flowing with the markets here. So this is another indicator I use to track what's going on with AME, and then we use spots, right? There's one more indicator, but I want to stick with these 3. These are the pillars, man, of it. The spots, okay, also using, this one's using a smoother filter, okay, and this one is also very good at telling us, these crossing points, historically speaking, how AMC has reacted to them. We are at a blue spot right now. We're starting to see the color here change. The way the indicator works is as soon as it turns blue, okay, that's a sign that usually you're going to see that reversal. For example, here it did it a little bit earlier, right? We did see it start correcting right around February, right? We're on the weekly time frame. If you go on the daily time frame, it works well. It works really well. But yeah, it starts to turn pink, and then it stays that color basically until last month, man, August. It just started to turn blue. The only other time we've seen that happen from the cycle, right, the start of the cycle, is February of 2021. So shortly after that POI, that is where it turned blue and it started to climb back up. So another reason why I've been bullish here on AMC. Now, yeah, there are fake outs. This could end up turning, pink again, but right now it's blue. It's bullish. AMC is trading at 460, so it's still trading sideways in a range. They've been really just keeping this thing stagnant for over 4 months, and yeah, man, it's some crazy stuff. Now the last indicator here changes, very important one as well. I'm on the weekly, so I did change the parameters here, but let's go on the daily real quick and show you guys the parameters. This is set at is 50. That is what I believe works the best here. Now this one is going to measure the rate of change, and it's got a few other calculations, a little secret recipe, man, that I use here specifically to get, just in my opinion, better results than the ROC. ROC shows slightly a different chart. So this one here is very good at respecting the percentage it moves and the levels is more importantly. So you can see right here, it's definitely in a ascending trajectory, right? It keeps bouncing off of these levels. And on the chart, you can't see that, right? We can't draw a trend line from here, and you won't be able to see it, right? That's what this indicator is good at. Basically resets every 50 bars, depending on the the interval that you're using. We're using 50. And it resets, basically comes back into that threshold. So it's very good at spotting these, these micro moves on AMC. When we try and, similar to Volt, when we try and understand how the cycle works, narrowing this down here to the 13-day window, right, it will tell you how much AMC climbs in the POIs, right? So for example, the threshold we use is 70, right? Every single time we've seen AMC push to the upside on the POIs, it has moved right around that 70% mark. Anywhere else in the cycle, you will not see it go above 70. It'll stay between like 25 and 50%. So 70 is a major threshold level to track. Very good at spotting the POIs. Yeah, and even on those time frames, you can still see how it's respecting the move to the upside. It's consolidating, but every single time, right, it's pushing. It's pushing up. So that's important, guys. The fact that we haven't crossed below, there's been no fake out or anything like that, that's a good sign. Yes, it's been trading sideways, and yes, I've expected a push here a little bit earlier than anticipated. But it's going to be very important here in the next few weeks that AMC does cross above, these micro resistance trend lines, right? We want to see it cross above and start heading back up, even though it's doing it a little bit slower, because if it does start crossing below $4, then it's more likely that this entire stage here would turn into another macro accumulation, right? And then, from there, we wouldn't want to see it get close to the dollar range, because we know how stocks that have reverse splits end up getting treated, right, in those lower range. So a chart's going to do what a chart's going to do, man, at the end of the day. But right now, things are still bullish. Doesn't matter where we could potentially go next. The chart still remains and has more bullish potential than bearish potential, right? A lot of people are saying, like, what's bullish about this chart? It just pumped and dumped. We're not talking about the damage that has been done. We're talking about the potential it has right now, right? From this drop where it's currently trading at, it's been stagnant trading for, again, 4 months. So that's what we're talking about here, guys. We're not talking about right now. If you're looking at the macro charts, yes, it's still considered to be in distribution at basically near all-time lows. But the potential, right, for it to turn around and start climbing up, that's the important part, okay? So yeah, these indicators back to back, man. All the indicators back to back, right? They're all showing us, and what do charts do, right, when they're trading at these levels? Okay, we're in oversold territory. We've been on the levels indicator. We have a blue spot here. And then with the volt indicator, we understand where we are in the cycle and what the next POI would be. So those are the things I'm tracking right now. Okay. Also with the markets, very, very important stuff here with the markets. But the markets are trading, right, at all-time highs. And they're also respecting, historically, well, in this, we wouldn't use volt, right, because volt is an indicator we use for stocks that have extreme volatility. So that wouldn't apply to the market here, SPY. But spots and levels, very good at that as well. We think that in the cycle, we're trading somewhere in this little range right here. We're right above the blue curve line here on spots, and then we're also trading on that higher band, so overbought territory for SPY, right around that range. And you can see how long it trades there, man. It trades there for about a year, which is the projection, man. I think that the markets here are going to be curving. They're going to be doing something like this, and this is what we call a stagnant period in the markets, but also could turn into basically a redistribution, getting ready for declining. So right before declining, typically what happens is the markets do a kind of reaccumulation pattern, and then it turns out not playing out that way. It doesn't keep going up. It starts to climb back down, giving us distribution. And this right here, guys, is where we see the meme stocks pump, okay? Normally, or what we've seen before, right? Because in January 2021, the markets were trailing, were going up all-time highs. And then it starts to curve. You see that curve take place. So anywhere in this range, right? Similar times as well, the elections, all that stuff. It's important to watch what happened back here, right? We saw crypto pump. Crypto started to pump like crazy first. And that's something that's also happening right now. So all these other sectors pumping in the market are going to be crucial here for the next steps on AMC and the rest of the memes, all right? All right, guys, so that's it for the video. Hope you liked it. Again, subscribe, smash the like button, and I will see you guys, man, on the next stream. Bye-bye.